SYAZWANI, and I will start this presentation with background of Tun Dr. Mahathir. Datuk Seri Mahathir bin Mohammad, also known as Tun Dr. Mahathir, were born in Alostar, Kedah on July 10, 1925. Tun Dr. Mahathir was a Malaysian politician who served as a Prime Minister of Malaysia on 1981 until 2003. Tun Dr. Mahathir also became a Prime Minister again on 2018 until 2020. Tun Dr. Mahathir became a Prime Minister again to monitor the nation's transformation into an industrialized one. Tun Dr. Mahathir received his education at Sultan Abdul Halim College and the University of Malaya in Singapore, where he majored in medicine. Next, I will continue my point on definition of administrative reform. Administrative reform are a political procedure created to improve the interactions between a bureaucracy and other social aspects or within the bureaucracy itself. It is an effort to aid in the modernization of emerging and developing nations. A new usage of the phrase has emerged.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur and HANIS, so I will talk about the salary system and services. Tun Dr. Mahathir introduced new remuneration system that also known as SSB to replace the committee remuneration system cabinet, which is JKK in short. It is a remuneration package that is expected to enhance the capacity of the public sector by contributing to the country. The aim was to create a public sector that can thrive in line with the development of the rapidly growing country, and it also focused on improving the quality and productivity of civil servant. Aside from that, it also aims to make civil servant more responsive and always ready to face the current change and challenges. Cultivate values and work based on the performance, quality and productivity, attract and retain energy quality. New remuneration system has created one new salary structure in the form of salary metric schedule for the whole public sector except the principal position, and the special grade post still remain with a layered pay scale. Salary metric schedule was created with new pay codes based on each service classification. It have a few grades and were divided into two groups of services, which is the management and the professional services and supporters group services. Furthermore, it is also have a three different level, which is P1, P2 and P3, and this level start with the P1 as the lowest until P3 as highest, which is also determine the salary based on the level gate. After that, Tun Dr. Mahathir decided to improve the SSB by creating the SSM system, Malaysian Remuneration System, that has been introduced on November 1st, 2002. And this system is still a remuneration based on system merit. This system evaluates civil servant performance not only in terms of performance appraisal but also in terms of improving competencies and knowledge. This improvement hoping to get a better employee by increasing the criteria needed. SSM aim to make civil servant more sensitive, to be responsive to the environment, and produce knowledgeable civil servant and promote continuing education in to attract a better employee. in the future.
So, hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is HANA Binti Mohammad LIAS, and I will be talking about the privatization policy that was implemented by Dr. Tun Mahathir. Privatization policy is one of the important efforts in the administrative reform that was implemented by Tun Dr. Mahathir. Privatization policy brings the definition of transferring a property or a business from being owned by the government to being owned by the private sector. This means a business that had transferred to a private company, the government will not interfere nor participate with it. The objective of creating this policy is to relieve the financial and administrative burden of the government. This means if the property is owned by the private company, the government will not have to provide any sort of resource of financial, and the burden will fall towards the private company. The second objective is to reduce the size of the public sector, because now in Malaysia there are too many public sectors such as police, hospital and school. The reason why it is important to reduce the public sector is because of their poor management, high levels of unemployment and service delivery difficulties. The third objective is to facilitate economic growth. This means if the property is not owned by the government, then the government can save the money and use it for other purposes, such as implementing it on technology so that Malaysia can be one of the most developed countries in the world. To simply put, generally it can help government save money and increase efficiency. One of the benefits of privatization policy is lack of political interference, because it is argued that governments make poor economic measures since they are influenced with political pressure rather than financial or economic pressure. One of the disadvantages of privatization policy is short-term termism of firms. They might try to boost short-term profitability in order to appease shareholders and refrain from making long-term investments. One of the examples of privatization is in terms of the health service. The privatization of the health support service in Malaysia play a big role in launching the privatization in the health sector. The objective is to improve the economic efficiency of the health sector. This development seems to be in line with the Ministry of Health plan to privatize clinical waste management services, since public hospitals do not have the facilities to do so. These two developments can create a new burden towards the government, where it can increase the cost of providing medical care and the burden of providing a wide range of services for the public. As a result, the government decided to focus on the core health services and privatize other activities that are related to the health sector. That's it for my point of view. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Fatin Ainur Huda Binti Ahmad Fauzi. So I will explain another administrative reforms initiated by Tun Mahathir Mohammad, which is by improving the effectiveness of work systems and procedures. Few efforts were made to improve the working system and procedures in the civil service. It helps to the government to have a quality standard of the performance and image of the civil servants. Tun Dr. Mahathir introduced several things that can improve the work system and procedure. He wanted to bring discipline working to the organization, especially in the government, and to improve the quality of the output or services. To improve the effectiveness of work system and procedures, Tun Dr. Mahathir introduced several efforts, which are punch card system, the use of name tag, the concept of an open space office, the file system in management, improve postal correspondence, and lastly, quality control circle, which is QCC. The punch card system aims to improve the government officials' attendance. Government employees must punch in for work before 8 a.m. and punch out after 4:15 p.m. This system was inspired by how the Japanese people work, which is so organized and on time. Secondly, the concept of an open space office has been categorized under the procedure and work system. This effort to create a favorable and appropriate work environment. The goal is to guarantee that formality is minimized and that office communication is efficient and effective. Moreover, implementing the file system in management is one of the primary efforts to improve the effectiveness of work system and procedures. This aims to enhance the process of services by government agencies. At the same time, it allows to increase efficiency in the civil service. In another effort to improve the work system and procedure, the government improved postal correspondence. This is to help the process of letters become fast and more efficient. Lastly, on March 14, 1983, Dr. Mahathir Mohammad introduced Quality Control Circles, which is QCC, a new management technique. Lower-level employees are encouraged by QCC to analyze problems and recommend solutions to management. Employees are the best people to know how to improve operation, leading to increased productivity. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Program, performance and budgeting system is one of the key strategies for the executive budget process. By Gorham 1967 and Doe 1981, the Montgomery Estimate Report's recommendations led to its initial introduction. Beginning in the 1969 fiscal year, it was implemented gradually, and by the 1972 fiscal year, all government agencies had embraced it. The PPBS, however, has not been effective. The PPBS has not been successful. The Financial Management System Unit Budget Division, Ministry and Department responsible for developing the system lacked knowledge and expertise, and top management lacked commitment to the PPBS. Additionally, ministries generally lacked confidence in the system because it had failed in other nations, particularly the United States, and no special training program was offered for officials to support the implementation of the PPBS. Tun Mahathir administration's approach to budgeting is tough to have improved upon the procedures utilized in the 1960s and 1970s, according to the civil employees' favorable assessments of the budgetary reform.
In conclusion, there are 4 administrative reforms initiated by Tun Dr. Mahathir that has been explained, which are prepare the best quality services, privatization policy, the punch card and clock-in system, and financial management system budget. As we can see, administrative reform is essentially a new shape and set of aims and objectives for the administrative machinery.